Hi there, welcome to Jackie Talks Horror. I'm Jackie, and today I'm diving into a spoiler-free review of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Just a quick heads up that I'll be using images and trailers from the film in this video, and there'll be links to any trailers in the description down below. I missed this one when it came out in cinemas, but definitely wanted to see it. I have seen, mostly enjoyed, and reviewed the other 3 installments in this franchise, and after what I thought was a solid entry last time, right up until that ending, the big question is, did this one redeem the franchise for me? To answer that, we need to talk about the people at the centre of it all, because this story lives and dies on its cast and characters. So our main characters are Spike, played by Alfie Williams. Like in the previous installment, Spike anchors one of the central threads of the film. His journeys and struggles through these 2 films has been fascinating to watch. Alfie Williams showed his emotional range in the previous film, and he brings that same ability here. He has a way to get us to care about him, even when the character is pushed into darker territory. He plays Spike so well, and I'll definitely be interested to see Williams take on a lead role outside of this franchise. Next up is Sir Jimmy Crystal, played with flair by Jack O'Connell. We didn't get to see much of Sir Jimmy Crystal in the last instalment. I am actually grateful for that. However, I definitely got the impression he was going to be bad news, even from the few minutes we had of him. Here, though, he steps fully into the spotlight. I've now seen Jack O'Connell in 2 standout performances over the last 6 months or so, playing Remick in Sinners and Sir Jimmy in this. And both times, O'Connell has shown enough warmth, charm and charisma that make him hard to look away from, even when you really want to. It looks like he's having a seriously strong run at the moment. And finally, for our main characters, we have Dr. Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes. Dr. Kelson is definitely the emotional anchor of the film. He was in the more emotional scenes in the previous film, and his empathy and curiosity showed in that, carry through to this one, and are given so much more time to expand. What felt like a compelling supporting presence before now expands into something much richer as it continues his research into the outbreak. I thought Ralph Fiennes was awesome, and his acting was one of the standouts of the previous film, even without being a main character. But here, we get the full range of what Fiennes is bringing to Dr. Kelson, and he is epic. There are a few scenes that shouldn't work, but every scene with him in absolutely does. There are other Jimmy characters, some play a bigger role than others, and we get to see a fair bit of Samson, screen time wise and literally. But those 3 are the main characters. Okay, so let's see how the film handles its plot and pacing. The film picks up not long after the end of the previous film, with most of the characters in pretty much the same situation as we left them in. And the IMDb plot synopsis reads, as Spike is inducted into Jimmy Crystal's gang on the mainland, Dr. Kelson makes a discovery that could alter the world. From here, the film switches between the 2 main stories, Spike joining up with the Jimmys and Dr. Kelson continuing his research at the Bone Temple. Interestingly, the 2 stories feel deliberately opposed in tone. While Spike's thread leans into brutality and the darker instincts of human nature, Dr. Kelson's work at the Bone Temple suggests a very different, more reflective direction. The film doesn't waste much time in establishing both settings, and it lets you know early on what kind of film it is, and what story it's going to tell over its runtime of 1 hour 49 minutes. It keeps the story moving without feeling like it's lingering too long in any one place. It's another one of those films where even though you feel you know exactly where it will end up, it keeps you curious about how things will get there. Okay, so let's have a look at how the film's put together. Tonally different from its predecessor 28 years later, The Bone Temple is directed by Nia DaCosta and was written by Alex Garland, who wrote 28 Days Later and the previous installment 28 Years Later. This one feels more human-focused. While the previous movie did have a very human arc to it, It was packed with a lot of zombie-infected chase sequences, whereas this installment isn't driven by non-stop zombie action from start to finish. DaCosta's direction leans into intimate framing and carefully composed shots that emphasize the characters' emotions and the lingering tension. She balances quieter reflective moments with sudden bursts of intensity, using the camera to draw the viewer in and make the post-apocalyptical world feel both lived in and threatening. The Bone Temple setting is as impressive as it was when we were there last. However, we also get to have a look at the more personal side of Dr. Kelson's life here as well. Shots are filled with images that stick with you, silhouettes against the fire within the stillness of the Bone Temple, and sequences in barns and ramshackle houses show clearly how the years since the outbreak have left things threadbare and stripped back to basics, even down to the tools they use. And outside spaces really do feel abandoned and overgrown, reinforcing a feeling of desolation. There are a couple of intense, set zombie mayhem sequences, and those wanting gore will not be disappointed. In those moments, the camera work amplifies the tension, and I believe they were filmed with handheld cameras. It's that rawness that pulls you in, so you feel as if you were there watching the scene yourself. The film doesn't hold back with intense violence, and some sequences are genuinely brutal, delivering the shock and tension fans of the series will expect. And I have to mention the soundtrack. To me, the songs featured were nothing short of brilliant. I've always loved Duran Duran, very much my era, so I thought the needle drops were very enjoyable, if surprising. They made me think of how different the world was before the outbreak, as they were played during scenes where they were very much dealing with the situation 28 years after the outbreak. One standout moment is a dance sequence set to one of the songs, which feels oddly joyful yet bittersweet in the context of the film's tension. So let's break it down and see how The Bone Temple stacks up with my ratings. For cinematography and soundtrack, this film gets 5 out of 5. Beautifully shot, with haunting, memorable imagery. The soundtrack was fantastic, and its use helped contrast past to present perfectly. For visual effects and gore, the film gets 4.5 out of 5. Impressive practical and digital effects. The gore is intense but purposeful, enhancing tension without ever overdoing it. For characters, this film gets 4.5 out of 5. Ralph Fiennes anchors the film emotionally. Jack Connell is magnetic, and Alfie Williams carries his arc with depth. The ensemble, overall, was very, very strong. For enjoyment and rewatch value, the film gets 3 out of 5. I found some parts made me so uncomfortable that even the really great parts that I enjoyed are not quite so much of an enticement to rewatch this very often. I would definitely rather watch 28 Days or 28 Weeks Later again. And for a personal score, this is a 3.5 out of 5-star film. This is a better film than the previous film in the franchise, but not as good as the other two, so this sits at my third favourite out of the 4 films. It has, however, had me looking forward to the proposed third 28 Days Later film, which they announced after talk from early showings of this film to critics in December was extremely positive. Unfortunately, it didn't do as well as expected at the box office, and only took $58 million on a $63 million budget, which leaves the prospects of the third instalment feel uncertain. That said, I really do hope they take a chance and follow through with it. Okay, so that's all for this video. Did you like 28 Years Later? Have you seen 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple? Did you enjoy it? Did you expect it to play out the way it did? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and remember this is only my opinion of the film. It'd be a boring old world if we all like the same things. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. This is Jackie signing off. Take care and see you next time.